when we have a dream at night, the three-dimensional world disappears. And in other words, the dream doesn't take place in space. It just takes place in time. In other words, the dream has only one dimension to it. Yeah, it takes place in time, but it can't be found in space. And yet, in this one dimension, a three-dimensional world appears. How amazing is that? That when we dream of a three-dimensional world, we could, for instance, we could have a dream that is identical to this image that we're seeing now. In other words, a three-dimensional world. But it appears in a one-dimensional dream. Just that. I mean, we're not talking non-duality here. We're just talking about a familiar experience that we all have every night. That a three-dimensional world appears in one-dimensional time. So is it such a big step to go from there to the possibility that awareness has no dimensions, but the four-dimensional world of time and space appear inside it? Is it such a big leap? After all, isn't it almost similar to what's happening in the dream state? It's not so strange. We all dream every night. We all have the experience every night that a three-dimensional world appears absolutely real in a one-dimensional experience, time. All that's being suggested here is just to take one more step. Consciousness, which has no dimensions, this four-dimensional world of three dimensions of space and one of time, all take place in this zero-dimensional consciousness. It's not such a big step to make.
I know, and it changes everything.
And it changes everything. It's not so far-fetched. It's the fact that we dream every night, we're almost there. It's not such a radical idea. We're experiencing it every night. The possibility of one dimension to appear as something else, to appear as three dimensions. If that principle is established and experienced by everybody every day, could it not be that in reality four dimensions appears out of a zero-dimensional space? After all, what we've done is we've gone from the waking state to the dream state. Yes? To make this, I'm suggesting go one step further. What about we go into deep sleep? Yeah? In deep sleep, no dimensions, no time, no space. But deep sleep, in other words, just prior to the mind, it's present all the time, underneath the other experiences. It's prior to the waking and the dreaming state. And the waking and the dreaming state arise out of it. So we don't even have to go to some extraordinary non-dual. We go from the waking state to the dream state and say, yes, in the dream state, the three-dimensional world appears in a one-dimensional. Just take one step further into the zero-dimensional space of deep sleep and see that all of this arises out of it. It's not so strange. We experience it, we rehearse it every day. We just fail to see the implications of these three states.
So then the practical aspect of time, I guess you don't even have to worry about it because memory will take care of that.
Yes,
Or,
when the concept of time is necessary, it will appear.